Hey everyone, welcome to Smashy Supercoach channel. Today I'm going to talk about who I've picked in my team on the team picker for 2025. So starting off at hooker, I've got Jeremy Marshall King. He's priced at a 56 average. Um, he averaged 63 up until the last three games that he played. Those last three games he actually played limited minutes off the bench, which lowered his average a fair bit. If he plays his usual role, he's like 63 to 65, if not high 60s. A lot of people are going for Max Plath. Max Plath will still get you probably your 60 points a game. My feeling on it is with Tom Gilbert coming back, I think Tom Gilbert probably start at 13 for the first, say, 20-25 minutes, and then he'll go off and Plath will come off the bench and then play the rest of the game. So he'll still play like 55-60 minutes at the lock position. He might even fill in for 10 minutes for Marshall King at hooker if he needs a spell. But for me, I think Marshall King's probably a better pick at the hooker position instead of Plath, just because he's anywhere up to 10 points probably undervalued really. And then during the season he'll have games where he'll need a rest for 10 or 15, and then he'll have a block of games throughout the year as well where he plays the full 80. So yeah, that's why I picked him. And then Pete Mamouzelos from the Rabbitohs is my second hooker. Moving on the front row, I've got Terrell May. He should play big minutes at the Tigers. Well, he's already said on a podcast that Benji wants him to play big minutes, so he's an easy pick really. But when he played at the Roosters last year, in games where he played over 50 minutes, he actually averaged 80, and he's priced at 61. So he's someone that he'll make for a little bit of money, but at the same time, probably someone that you can just keep for the year. Realistically, if he ends up playing like 60 minutes a game, he'll score pretty good. Tino, I've got as my next one. He's priced at 531k. Coming back from an ACL though, so who knows who's actually going to go. But and then with the Titans, they've also got Campbell Gillard there now, and there's guys like Jamin Jolliffe. Who else is there? Jamin Jolliffe. There's also Mo Fotuaika. They've got all those guys there that probably take minutes away from Tino really as well. But even still, he's like 200k below what he's probably normally priced at to begin the year. So, and even with the Titans on our round one, on the buy in round one, you can probably leave him in your starting side realistically because of having the flex in Supercoach in 2025. Instead of getting an AE score, you'll get your flex players score. So yeah, so I've gone with Tino, and then on the bench, I've got Royce Hunt and Tom Amone. And then in my 2RF, I've got Isaiah Papali'i, Zach Hosking, and John Bateman. Bateman's in there basically because Lukey doing his ACL, so he should be in that starting. Just realised I had something from my food. Yeah, so Bateman will be starting there now instead of Lukey after he did his ACL. And then on my bench I've got Fini Filiaki at the Finns, should be starting. Seen videos from him and footage from training where he's been on the right side. And then after him I've got Colin House. He missed all of last year with an ACL, and the previous year he averaged 42 playing as a middle. With Taumalolo missing the early part of the season as well, he'll probably end up playing. He could potentially be starting in the front row. So even if he scores like 40 odd, that'd be okay. And then Schuster's the last of the two refs. And then at halfback, I've gone for the best to begin with. So I've got Nathan Cleary. As long as he's fit to go, he'll be right. And then Sandon Smith, I've got as my second halfback. He's also dual hooker, so you could have him as one of your hookers if you wanted to. But for me, I've got him as my second halfback. 5'8", I've got Cody Walker, one of my favourite players, even though he doesn't play for my team. Should bounce back under Wayne, I'd think. He loves playing under Wayne Bennett, so I'd say he'd have a pretty good bounce back next year. And then I've got Luke Metcalf as my second 5'8". I feel as though he's probably going to be the goal kicker at the Warriors. You know that Sean Johnson's finished or retired last year. And then, on my centre wings, I've got Jacob Kiraz. He averaged 84 playing on the wing, even though he averaged 72 for the season. He averaged 84 in games when he played on the wing. He'll probably end up being on the wing with Josh Adokar no longer at the Bulldogs, and they've got Critter at centre also, and Bronson Cherry playing centre. So I'd say he'd probably end up being on the wing, which would be a really good thing for Supercoach. And then after him, Campbell Graham at 505k. Missed all of last year and probably back into the season before that as well. At one stage he was averaging close to 80 from memory. So being at 505k, I'm pretty sure it's something like a 51 sort of average or thereabouts. So he's pretty good value. And then after him, I've got Zach Labert, who's another one coming back from an ACL. Tipped to come back and play centre now that Valentine Holmes has gone to Dragons. He was going pretty well before he got injured at the start of last year when he did his ACL. So I think he's a pretty good pick. And then I've also got Billy Smith, who's along with also Robert Toya, who's on my centre wing bench. I've got both of them. I've heard Robbo or Trent Robinson say something about that they're most likely going to be the centre pairing. Even though a lot of people are going for Mark Nwanganita-Wase. I think I got the name right. I've heard him actually say that he's a winger, so more than likely he might not get a run unless he replaces Tupou or Dom Young, which I don't think he'll probably replace Dom Young. He'll probably come in unless there's an injury or a suspension to one of them, or if Tupou's playing pretty bad at the beginning. And then my last couple of centre wings, I've actually got Jack Bird, who's dual 2RF. Heard he's going to be playing lock at the Tigers, so he's pretty good value. And I've got Jesse McLean, that's right, from the Panthers. Would have played ahead of his brother Casey McLean in 2024. Only Jesse was out injured, and having a wing spot available at the Panthers now that Taruva's moved on to the Tigers, Jesse McLean should probably take that spot ahead of his brother Casey. Casey's more of a centre. And then onto my fullbacks. My first one I picked was Scott Drinkwater. He'll be someone I'll probably hold for the whole year. He was like second most Supercoach points for all of 2024. The Cowboys have a pretty good run, especially after the first Origin. all the way. They got no more buys all the way through to the last round of the season. Which for people that play head-to-heads, he'll have no buys from after the first Origin. Basically, you can play all the way through till the end of your head-to-head without worrying about the Cowboys having a bye. And then also I got Isaiah Yongi, the cheapie out the Parramatta Eels. Played one game at the Panthers, scored 47. He takes a lot of runs. It's one of those working sort of fullbacks. And then for my flex, I've got Tommy Turbo. So having 3 fullbacks. So yeah, that's my team. All right, thanks guys.